We're coming back from what was one of the worst tragedies that the entire world has experienced. And travel was impacted as much as any other industry. The number of people who lost their jobs, the number of businesses that failed. But we're so thankful now we're coming back. And now we're hoping for a great summer this year. It looks good. Certainly over many years, there had been a growth in what we call the short-term rental, the alternative accommodations area. And they've been growing gradually for many, many years. Then the pandemic happened. And of course, people are saying, I'm not sure I really want to be in a lobby. I'm not sure I want to be in an elevator with other people. So people went to places where they could be isolated and be safe. They did that. But what's interesting, of course, is people then saw, oh, this isn't a bad way to travel too. People would never thought of using a short-term rental or an alternative accommodation. Fact is that people still use more hotels than they do alternative accommodations, but the growth is still there. About a third in 2022 were alternative accommodations, which was an increase from what it was in the past. We hadn't seen anybody pulling back at the time in terms of going from a high star rated hotel to low star or shortening the length of stay. We hadn't seen that happening yet. I think there's still an element going on of people having not been able to travel for a couple of years. They are still very happy to spend money and go to a nice place, or nicer than they normally would have, or at least as nice as they would have, and for as many days as they would have in the past. Now, of course, everybody's concerned about the economy, particularly in Europe. So we'll see how that plays out over time, but for right now, not seeing it. It's interesting how people are willing to book further ahead. The booking window had extended out. It says people are more confident about traveling, that they don't feel, well, I have to do it in a very short term because I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to travel or not. And that's a great thing. People last summer, when they wanted to go somewhere and all of a sudden everything was booked up they wanted to go to. So people say, I'm going to get ahead of the game. I'm going to book now. And there's also an interesting thing about costs. Costs have continued to go up over last year. And people said, you know, I should book now. So I lock in the price now because I'm afraid, what if a month later it's higher? So those are a bunch of reasons where people are booking ahead. The really important part of this is not just giving the lead, but it's helping get the education. It's working with our partners so they know what they could do better, because a lot of them don't know how to do it. And then the great thing will be when travelers who believe in traveling sustainably, when they are searching and they see, I'm going to go to one that's sustainable, and they choose that one, that completes the circle. And that's what we're trying to do.